Good morning, Capricorn. How's everybody doing? I actually started this video yesterday and I was waiting on someone to pick up some products from me, and I didn't know when she was coming. I thought I had plenty of time, and I started this video and I had a knock on the door and it just completely messed up the vibe. Which, I feel like maybe, the messages weren't right at that time anyway. I've learned to just really go with the flow. So I said, well, I'm really pretty tired energetically, so I'll go ahead and take the rest of the day off. And I will hit this again in the morning. I've already said, when I get this in my Leo videos done, I am taking about a week and a half off to recharge. But with this reading here, you can still get a $20 personal reading. I take Cash App, Facebook Messenger, Venmo, PayPal. And then after this video, they're going up to $40 to pay for my energy. So with that being said, I will include my email address in the description of the video if you want to reach out to me to see what is blocking you in areas of love and abundance so that you can manifest your highest possible outcome, which is really what you want. I know I've gotten to the place where I'm no longer even trying to consciously manifest things because I'm just in a place of trust that I know that whatever's for me, I will have in the highest possible way. But in order to really get into that energy where I just trust and believe now, and I'm really no longer trying to control any outcomes, I had to get all of my fears out of the way. Which, man, was a challenge. And it took a very long time, which, it didn't really have to take that long. And time's not really a thing anyway. It's energy. But my ego was really, really strong. And so I had to have a lot of repeat lessons, a lot of painful ones. Sometimes I kick myself and I'm like, man, I could have gotten through this so much faster, but the journey is the destination, and I've learned so much, and it's been so magical, so I'm not going to judge it. I'm just not. But that is how you manifest your highest possible outcome, is once you can get your fears out of the way and any type of attachments that you have to anything or anyone or any outcome, and you tell yourself, I trust that the universe has my back, and whatever is really for me, not what I think is for me, will come to me in the most perfect way, because it's going to happen anyway, as long as you release any type of fears around feeling like, not being worthy enough for it, or create your own self-limiting blocks, because sometimes we're trying to figure out, how is this going to happen? How is this going to happen? Well, the universe has it figured out. And when you try to figure out how it's going to happen, you limit the universe to what you think, I'd given an example in one of my videos last week or over the weekend that, maybe what's coming to you is going to come to you on a plane, and you're thinking it's going to come to you on a bicycle, and you're trying to figure out how that's going to happen. And you create all kinds of blocks that way, and you keep it away because of your fears of, how is this going to work out? So with that being said, the first card that we have is the Ace of Cups. And this is a brand new beginning that is trying to come into your life in the area of love. But in order for this to come in, you have to release any type of control that you have right now. Trying to control the outcome, trying to manipulate the results. And sometimes we manipulate people in ways that we don't even realize. And we do this with a tit for tat energy. You know, and so many times we do things for other people and we expect something in return, or we set things up in a way that, okay, if I do this, that, or whatever else, then this person has some sort of obligation to me. And that's not love, that's fear-based. And when there's fear, there can be no love. So make sure that whatever you do it from a place of out of the kindness of your heart. Don't have any type of agenda, because this agenda has you stuck. And a lot of times people can sense an agenda, and this will, you know, they'll either react in a way that's very, very negative, or they'll just leave. You can get caught up in a power struggle with somebody of that back and forth, and sometimes we get into this place of reminding people, remember what I did for you. So make sure you're not in that energy, and you will have a brand new type of connection. Really be conscious. Be conscious of any of that type of energy. And once you do, your connections that you have with people are going to ascend to the next level of intimacy, because you get your ego out of the way. And sometimes you have to tell yourself too, I don't always have to be right. Now, make sure you're not taking on another person's shit. You're not responsible for another person's feelings. So do speak your truth. Do have boundaries with people. Don't be scared to say no if it's something you don't want to do. Don't be scared to say no. And if the other person gets upset, you know what? That's not your problem. You don't even have to apologize for it. But at the same time, there's a fine line between standing your ground and being right and having an intimate relationship. So make sure that you are balancing that out. Fortune. You have money on the way. When we have blocks to love, we have blocks to money. It's just always how it is, because whatever blocks we have to love, it's like it's the same energy, and it's always around some sort of victim mentality is what I'm picking up on. Feeling like, you know what, things don't ever completely happen the way I want them to. It's like I get so close and it just doesn't connect. Or there's always something always goes wrong. It's like waiting for the shoe to drop. And that's the energy I'm getting. And so you really need to clear that, because the reason that's happening is because that's what you believe. And so everything that's happened up until this point has been for you to release that cycle, release that pattern, that way of thinking where you're creating those blocks. Because to clarify that card, we have the moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work. Man, that's what I was just saying. Release any type of outcome or any type of emotional attachment you have to an outcome. If you can get to the place you can tell yourself that, you know what, I'm going to have enough money. Whoever is supposed to be in my life is going to be in my life. I don't have to do anything to control the situation. I'm going to release, and we don't have control anyway. All control is it's that fear-based energy that I feel like if I don't do something, nothing's going to happen. And that's not true, because actually not doing anything is actually what brings to you what it is that you want, because we get out of the way. When we're trying to let's say, for example, there's something that you want, and you're doing everything in your power to get that thing, and you're working towards it. you know, and it's taking up a lot of your time and energy. You're staying up late at night worrying about it, you know, and it could be a job, it could be a business, it could be a love interest. And the message that's coming through is to just stop, practice just being, and tell yourself, you know what, I trust that I'm going to magnetize this in by being in a place of deep faith and trust and knowing that if it's for me, I don't even have to struggle with it, because it's like a struggle that's going on right now. And so do release that struggle. We have strength. True strength comes from, first of all, faith. And second of all, by being emotionally available and being in touch with your emotions. Now understand, we can't blame somebody else for how we feel, because nobody makes us feel anything. But if you are feeling something, embrace it, own it. Own that shit. And don't try to, a lot of times we will try to not let another person know how we feel, because we feel like we're going to give away our power to them. Now understand, take back your power from people you've given it to, where you have given them the power to make you happy, make you sad. That's not what I'm talking about. But if somebody has hurt you, or somebody has said something, be open and be able to communicate your feelings about it in a healthy way. Say, you know what? I was feeling this way. I realized, you know, that the reason why I'm feeling this way is, you know, because of something I've experienced in the past, or because I misunderstood, I read too much into the situation, I took it wrong. But you know what? I've really worked through that, and I'm in a better place now. So I just wanted to tell you, you know, when we had this misunderstanding, it was because of me, because something made me feel some kind of way, and I've worked through that, and I feel better, and I'm sorry if I put that off on you. That's the energy that I'm getting here, and that is true strength. That is emotional maturity. You know, you'd be surprised how many people are, and I was there until recently. I'm still like a baby in this emotional maturity thing. You know, and so sometimes people come into our lives who are on the same maturity level that we're, emotional maturity level we're on. You know, and they come in to teach us, and we teach each other. So look for those lessons. We have house. Stability, stagnation, and family. So a lot of times we want to arrive at a destination. Okay, I just want to be where it is I'm supposed to be at. And we're so dead set focused on that goal that we miss the forest for the trees, because the journey is the destination. And if we ever like completely like, oh, I'm completely done, I'm done with all my inner work, and I've arrived, I'm where I need to be at, your ego wants you to think that. And, you know, if there's no growth or stagnation, and that's when people get bored, and that's when people start looking, you know, outside for some sort of stimulation. So I'm getting like a certain stagnant energy right now. Like your soul is just really bored, and it, you know, so sometimes because we have more things we have to work on and we've stagnated, sometimes the ego creates chaos. And so it's that type of energy, like your ego has created some sort of drama, some sort of chaos that it can figure out. But make sure you're not stuck in that energy. Make sure that, you know, you look for the lessons in it. You ask yourself, what is this teaching me, so that you can clear it out, so that you aren't addicted to that sort of drama, that it's like a drama addiction. I mean, I'm having a hard time putting it into words. Like you almost self-sabotage things because you need that stimulation. Queen of Swords. And this is that energy I'm picking up on as well, that self-sabotaging behavior, where then you find yourself in a dilemma, but you're almost kind of addicted to it, you know, because it gives you something to focus on. The ego doesn't want us to be happy. It wants to keep chaos going all the time. So you really need to kind of figure out what it is that you need. Because this here is not what you need. High honor. You know, this is kind of being on a high horse, so to speak. And like I said, it might trigger you guys. You know, I know my messages aren't always popular, but I can only speak my truth, so here we are. But this is almost like a high horse energy. Like, you know, willing to point out the flaws and faults of others, but not yourself. So make sure that you're going within, because your outer world is going to reflect your inner world. And aren't you tired of the drama? Don't you want some peace? Think about it. I mean, really do some soul searching. Try to figure out why it is that you do the things that you do. That is the key to change. Sacrifice. And this is that energy I was picking up on also, that you don't always have to be right. Can you let something go? Can you walk away from a situation for a while? Can, you know, sometimes I've been finding myself lately saying, you know what, you're exactly right. It is what it is. I'm not even going to argue with you, because everybody has their own journey and everybody's at their own level of consciousness. Now, there's certain truths that are true, like, you know, how energy works and how the universe works and universal laws, that never changes. But everyone's truth is different because everyone's at their own level of consciousness. And, you know, people are either going to evolve with us or they're going to fall off at their own, on their own accord. So if you're still with somebody and you're still attracting difficult lessons with that person, you need to really take a look at it. You know, maybe, you know, the relationship has ran its course and you're holding on out of attachment or obligation or things other than love. Definitely check in with yourself. Maybe it's time to move on because something new is trying to come in. It wants to come in. So make sure you release what no longer serves you. We have the garden and the gate. And so basically, the energy, this is a very spiritual card. When I see this card, this is that being on the right path and taking the path that you are being asked to take. And there's a certain hesitation right now. And I feel like the hesitation, like I said, has to do with attachments. Really check in with yourself, with your fear-based energy, and ask yourself, are you holding on to things out of fear? Fear of change, fear of loss, fear that, you know, somebody else will be with this person, some jealousy, which is not love. Maybe you and this person need to take a break for a while because you're being guided to take a different path for a while. And this is inward. This is an inward path of really getting in touch with who you are by releasing what you are not. We have the Six of Swords, you know, so there's a lot of loneliness in this card, you know, so I'm really picking up on, like I said, a lot of drama, a lot of fighting, a lot of bickering, egos just really being at one another. It's this power struggle, and so this is leaving you feeling alone a lot of times. But once again, you're really being called to ask, to look at why you do things, because there's nothing we do about what other people do. Understand, we align to what they do. What they bring to us, we align to that energetically. So it starts with us. So you need to really look at what it is that you are doing to attract these type of situations. And it is definitely very ego-based. And it's like this strong sense, this strong feeling of you want to be right, you want to prove a point. And isn't that important? Because in order to have a healthy relationship, you have to get that out of the way. Hope, anticipation, bright prospects, wish. So like I said, there is this brand new love that is coming in. You know, either this relationship here is going to become, I would say, better, or like working through these things. You know, either you're going to decide you're going to work through this, or somebody brand new is going to come in. But you have this hope for the future. But it starts by being very, very present, being very, very conscious of why you're doing things now, and deciding what you want so that it can come to you in the most perfect way. You've got to decide. You've got a decision to make. Capricorn, this is your reading. I'm being called to pull one of these self-compassion cards. I tell you, these videos have been taking a lot out of me because I've been giving them my all, and I'm just so drained afterwards. This might be the only video I get done today. It's too many cards. Might be the only one. Try forgiving yourself for a small recent misstep. Now wish yourself well. So if it's something a part that you played that you feel like you're to blame, you know what? Sometimes we're not to blame. Sometimes we speak our truth, and the other person, they feel some kind of way about it. Now, that's when it stops being your shit. When you speak your truth, and the other person can't accept it, and they're in their feelings about it, that's not your shit anymore. So make sure you know what is your shit and what is their shit. All right, Capricorn, this is your reading. Thank you very much for watching.